Hi, I'm Finn, co-founder and CPTO at Mapular. Mapular is designed around the way expansion teams already work. So instead of complex GIS tools, you can use spreadsheet-native rows, columns, and filters to combine built-in market data with your own location or performance data, and all is kept in sync with a live map. Let's take a look at how this works. Let me log in. Once you've logged in, you arrive at the workspace level. This is where the collaboration happens with your team. This is where you can create new map books by using a template that we provide, where you can create your own templates, and where you can share things with your colleagues. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new map book. This will load for a second, and then it loads on the left a table, a spreadsheet, and on the right a map. I'm going to give this a name first. Let's call it Berlin Gen 2026. This is my analysis of Berlin. And what you see on the left is rows with IDs for these cells on the map. And as I hover over the table, you can see there is a direct information on the map happening. So everything you see in the map changes what you see in the table. So if I would go to completely different areas, you see these numbers change. Let's go back to Berlin. And what you want to do is you want to explore data. You want to plan your expansion. So you need to understand, what does this market that I want to expand into look like? So you want to use market data. We, as Mapular, provide you with built-in market data. So you can add a new column, and you can say, actually, I would like to now use total population, and I would also like to use purchasing power. You see, there's much more that you can use. You can use age group specific data, and then also gender specific data, and you can use location data as count, state, city, what is the zip code that I'm looking at. And now I want to quickly visualize the total population. I want to have this in a better way. So I can directly see, okay, there are areas with higher population and lower population. Then I want to take a look at the purchasing power. I want to understand how high is the purchasing power in a specific area here, how low, but let me turn back on the total population. Then you want to understand, okay, now I'm looking at this market. I have existing locations in Berlin. How can I use my existing data? You go to upload CSV, and you can drag and drop your own CSV. So now I will upload some Starbucks location from Berlin. I can click through this. It will give me a preview of the data. So I have 3 columns, name, address, and sales. This is not real data. And then I can choose, okay, the address is my address, and I can give it a name. And I can choose if I want to share this data set with my whole team, so that everyone that's logged into Mapular that has an account can use this data set, or I want to keep it to myself. For now, I'm going to keep this to myself. I will upload this data set. This will take a second depending on how big your CSV file is. Now it's already uploaded. There is a notification that this was processed, and you can use it. So what I can do is I can go here, I can add this, and what it does is it creates a new layer that I can quickly also show with the exact locations of my sales. So now here you have the exact location of your sales, and it will also show me the cells that this is in, and it will map back the sales that I've selected to these cells. So let's turn this off again, because now I want to understand the competitive market in this area. So I've uploaded some sales data and some locations from my coffee shop. So I want to understand, okay, are there any competitors here? Should I look at other coffee shops? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the data sets that Mapular provides and select the points of interest. So for now, I'm going to say cafe. I'm going to say cafe for food and drink, and I'm going to load this data set. This will take a second because it's loading a lot of data for this viewport. And now we have this already. So this then shows me all the locations for the viewport that I'm in. And I can see, okay, in this cell, for example, there are 5 cafes. This cell has a total population of 1,845 and a purchasing power of around 20,000 euros. Now I can start filtering this down, narrowing this down, do my analysis. I want to understand, okay, where are areas with a population that's lower or higher than, where are areas with less than 10 or 5 coffee shops. But I can also create new columns. Let me remove this filter based on a formula. So I can say, I want to calculate the density. So I want to calculate population through the area and add this as a column. And I can also go back to transform and say, actually, I would like to understand the catchment around my existing locations. I want to understand the local trade area around my existing locations. So let's turn this off for a second and let's go to catchment. Let's select, okay, I want to have the total population within 10 minutes of my location. And then I select my location layer and I can say, okay, compute catchments. So now this computed the catchment. It also turns it on in the map. Let's bring back my sales. And now what I do is I will actually click 1. So now I see from this location, within 10 minutes of driving the car, I reach 145,000 people. So I've done my first catchment area analysis, the trade area analysis. I know how many cafes there are in this area. And now I want to share these results with my colleagues. So what we natively provide you with is an integration to your existing spreadsheets. So you can download your data and directly use it in Excel and Google Sheets, whatever. But you can also export this with your stakeholders outside of Mapular. So what you want to do is you want to maybe say, actually, let's put in a satellite background, and then I want to share this with someone in my team that doesn't have access to Mapular. So what you can do is you can create a shared URL and then copy this and go into a new browser. So I will do this, I will copy this, and then I will go into a new browser. So now I see a shared map. I see a map that you can share with everyone outside of Mapular, and they can explore this data and they can also download this data. So they can go in and see, oh, okay, those are the cafes in that area. They can also go and say, okay, they provided me with the population so that I can actually see the population, and they can download the data. And in that way, you can collaborate with your partners, with the stakeholders at every step of the analysis of your expansion. And this is why we've built Mapular. We wanted to provide you with a platform that provides A-grade data, but also gives you the freedom of working together with externals in a way that is native to you. So if you want to see how this would work for your expansion plans, then please book a demo and we'll walk you through together.